When it comes to weight loss, one of the biggest debates is whether a low-carb or a low-fat diet is more effective. Both approaches have passionate supporters, but what does science and practical experience really tell us? Let's break this down in a simple, clear, and evidence-based way. First, let's understand what these diets mean. A low-carb diet focuses on reducing carbohydrates like bread, rice, pasta, and sugary foods, while increasing protein and healthy fats. On the other hand, a low-fat diet limits fats from sources like oils, butter, and fatty meats, emphasizing carbohydrates and lean proteins. Now, which one works better for weight loss? Research shows that both can lead to weight loss if done correctly, but the real key is creating a calorie deficit, burning more calories than you consume. Low-carb diets often produce faster initial weight loss because they reduce water weight and lower insulin levels, which can help with appetite control. This can make it easier for some people to stick to the plan in the short term. Low-fat diets, however, have been recommended for decades because they reduce overall calorie density, especially from fats, which are more calorie-dense than carbs. This approach can be easier for those who enjoy fruits, whole grains, and plant-based meals. It can also support long-term heart health when done with healthy, whole food choices. So, which is better? The truth is, the best diet is the one you can stick to consistently without feeling deprived. If cutting carbs makes you feel tired and moody, it's not sustainable. If avoiding fats leaves you hungry and unsatisfied, that won't last either. Sustainability matters more than quick results. Also, remember, quality matters. A low-carb diet filled with processed meats and fried foods is not healthy. Similarly, a low-fat diet that's high in refined sugar and processed snacks won't help your health or your waistline. Focus on whole, nutrient-rich foods. Lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, and whole grains, within whichever plan suits your lifestyle. Both low-carb and low-fat diets can help with weight loss if a calorie deficit is maintained, and this is the most important principle that many people often overlook. Weight loss is fundamentally about energy balance. When you consume fewer calories than your body needs to maintain its current weight, it starts using stored fat as fuel. This is why people can lose weight on a wide variety of diets, whether they are eating low-carb, low-fat, or even balanced diets, because the core driver of fat loss is a negative energy balance. It doesn't matter if the calories come from carbohydrates, fats, or proteins. If you consistently eat more calories than your body burns, you will gain weight, and if you eat less, you will lose weight. This is backed by decades of scientific research on energy metabolism and thermodynamics. When comparing low-carb and low-fat diets, the key difference lies in how each diet influences your eating habits, hunger levels, and energy intake. For example, some people find that when they reduce carbohydrates, their appetite naturally decreases, leading to lower calorie consumption without consciously counting calories. This happens because cutting carbs can reduce insulin spikes, stabilize blood sugar levels, and improve satiety, especially when the diet includes enough protein and healthy fats. On the other hand, low-fat diets remove calorie-dense fats, which have more than twice the calories per gram compared to carbs and protein. This makes it easier for some people to reduce overall calorie intake without feeling restricted, especially if they enjoy eating fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. The critical factor, however, is adherence. If you choose a diet that you can't stick to, it won't work in the long run, even if it creates a calorie deficit in the short term. Many people start a diet enthusiastically but give up after a few weeks because it feels too restrictive. This is why focusing only on whether carbs or fats are the problem misses the bigger picture. Both macronutrients can be part of a healthy diet, and neither one is inherently bad when consumed in moderation from quality sources. What matters most is choosing a plan that fits your preferences and lifestyle so you can maintain it consistently. Additionally, it's essential to consider food quality. If you are on a low-carb diet but eat mostly processed meats and unhealthy fats, your body will not get the nutrients it needs for overall health. Similarly, a low-fat diet that relies heavily on refined carbohydrates, sugary snacks, and processed foods will not promote good health, even if you lose some weight initially. Balanced nutrition should always include lean proteins, fiber-rich vegetables, healthy fats, and whole food sources of carbohydrates. Low-carb diets may lead to faster short-term results by reducing water weight and appetite, and this is one of the reasons why many people notice quick progress in the first few weeks after switching to this approach. When you reduce carbohydrate intake significantly, your body uses up stored glycogen, which is the storage form of glucose in your muscles and liver. Glycogen binds to water, approximately 3 grams of water for every gram of glycogen. So when glycogen is depleted, the body releases a large amount of water, resulting in rapid weight loss during the initial phase. This is why someone on a low-carb diet can lose several pounds within the first week or two, even though much of it is water rather than body fat. This early drop can be motivating and encouraging for many individuals who want to see quick progress. Another factor that makes low-carb diets appealing for short-term weight loss is their effect on appetite regulation. Carbohydrates, especially refined carbs and sugars, can cause rapid spikes and drops in blood sugar levels. These fluctuations often lead to increased hunger and cravings throughout the day. When carbs are reduced and replaced with protein and healthy fats, blood sugar levels stabilize, which helps control appetite and reduces the urge to snack frequently. Many people naturally eat fewer calories without even trying because they feel fuller for longer after meals rich in protein and fat. This appetite-suppressing effect can make it easier to maintain a calorie deficit, which is the ultimate driver of fat loss. Additionally, lower insulin levels play a role in this process. When you consume fewer carbs, your body produces less insulin, which is the hormone responsible for storing glucose and regulating fat storage. Lower insulin levels may make it easier for the body to access stored fat for energy, promoting fat burning. This hormonal shift, combined with appetite control, contributes to the success many people experience with low-carb diets in the early stages. However, it's important to remember that these early results do not necessarily guarantee long-term success. The initial rapid weight loss from water can slow down, and the body eventually adapts. If someone returns to eating more carbs without managing calorie intake, they may regain the lost water weight quickly. Moreover, strict low-carb diets can be difficult to maintain for some people, especially if they enjoy bread, rice, pasta, or fruit. Sustainability is key, and what works well in the short term might not be the best option for long-term health and weight maintenance. It's also crucial to emphasize food quality. A low-carb diet does not mean eating unlimited amounts of processed meats, fried foods, or artificial sweeteners. For optimal health, the focus should be on nutrient-dense, whole food sources of protein and fat, such as lean meats, eggs, fish, nuts, seeds, and healthy oils, along with plenty of non-starchy vegetables for fiber and micronutrients. Skipping this step and filling the diet with unhealthy low-carb options can lead to nutritional imbalances and health issues over time. Low-fat diets can be effective for those who enjoy plant-based meals and want heart-friendly choices because this approach emphasizes foods that are naturally rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals while reducing the amount of calorie-dense fats that can add up quickly. Fat is the most energy-dense macronutrient, providing about 9 calories per gram compared to 4 calories per gram from carbohydrates and protein. This means that even small amounts of high-fat foods can contribute a significant number of calories, which makes it easier to consume more than the body needs without realizing it. By lowering fat intake, especially from sources like butter, fried foods, and heavy oils, people can reduce overall calorie intake and create a calorie deficit, which is essential for weight loss. Another reason low-fat diets can be effective is that they often encourage the consumption of more fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains. These foods are naturally low in fat but high in fiber and water, making them filling without being high in calories. High-fiber foods also support better digestion and help maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. This combination of volume and nutrient density means you can eat larger portions and still stay within your calorie goals, which makes it easier to feel satisfied while losing weight. This feeling of fullness plays an important role in long-term success because when you are not constantly hungry, sticking to a diet becomes more sustainable. Low-fat diets have also been linked to benefits for heart health. especially when they focus on reducing unhealthy fats like trans fats and limiting saturated fats while emphasizing unsaturated fats in moderation. Diets rich in plant-based foods and low in fat can help lower LDL cholesterol and improve overall cardiovascular health, which is an added advantage for those who are not only aiming to lose weight but also want to improve long-term well-being. For individuals with certain health conditions like high cholesterol or a family history of heart disease, a low-fat diet can be a smart and preventive choice. However, it's important to understand that low fat should not mean no fat. Healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil are essential for the body because they support hormone production, brain function, and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Eliminating all fats can lead to nutritional deficiencies and other health problems over time. The key is balance, keeping fat intake moderate and focusing on healthier fat sources rather than eliminating them entirely. One of the challenges some people face with low-fat diets is the temptation to replace fat with refined carbohydrates and sugar. This can lead to an increase in processed foods like low-fat cookies, sugary snacks, and refined grains, which may be low in fat but high in calories and low in nutrients. These choices can cause spikes in blood sugar and leave you feeling hungry shortly after eating, making weight loss harder in the long term. That's why the quality of the diet matters as much as the macronutrient ratio. Choosing whole, unprocessed foods and maintaining a balanced intake of carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fats will give you the best results. Sustainability and food quality are more important than the specific diet type because the ultimate success of any weight loss plan depends on how long you can stick with it without feeling deprived or frustrated. Many people start a new diet with great enthusiasm, whether it's low carb, low fat, or any other popular plan, but after a few weeks, they struggle to maintain it because it doesn't fit their lifestyle or food preferences. When that happens, they often go back to their old eating habits and regain the weight they worked so hard to lose. This cycle of losing and regaining weight, known as yo-yo dieting, can be discouraging and harmful to overall health. That's why sustainability should always be the first priority when choosing a weight loss strategy. A diet that works for one person may not work for another because everyone has different tastes, routines, and cultural preferences. For a diet to be sustainable, it needs to feel like a natural part of your life, not a temporary punishment. If you love eating bread, pasta, or rice, a strict low-carb diet might feel impossible in the long term. Similarly, if you enjoy foods like avocado, nuts, or olive oil, an extremely low-fat diet may leave you feeling restricted. Instead of forcing yourself into a plan that makes you unhappy, it's better to find an approach that allows flexibility and includes the foods you enjoy in moderation. This way, you can maintain healthy eating habits without constant cravings or feelings of guilt. A sustainable diet is not about perfection. It's about making better choices most of the time and building habits you can follow for years. Food quality is another critical factor that often gets overlooked when people focus too much on macros like carbs and fats. Not all calories are equal in terms of nutrition. For example, a low-carb diet that consists mostly of processed meats, fried foods, and artificial sweeteners may technically be low in carbohydrates, but it won't provide the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants your body needs to stay healthy. The same goes for a low-fat diet that is high in refined carbohydrates and sugary snacks. It might be low in fat, but it can still lead to blood sugar spikes, cravings, and nutrient deficiencies. Instead of simply cutting out one macronutrient, the focus should be on eating high-quality, nutrient-dense foods that support overall health while promoting weight loss. Whole foods like vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains should form the foundation of any diet, whether it's low-carb or low-fat. These foods are rich in essential nutrients, fiber, and antioxidants, which not only help with weight management, but also protect against chronic diseases. Eating a variety of whole foods ensures that you get the right balance of macronutrients and micronutrients without relying on highly processed or empty-calorie options. When you prioritize quality, you naturally eat in a way that supports energy, mood, and long-term well-being. The best diet is the one you can stick to consistently without feeling deprived, because long-term success depends on adherence, not on temporary restrictions or quick fixes. When people choose a diet solely because it promises fast results or is currently trending, they often ignore the most important question: can I realistically follow this way of eating for months or even years? If the answer is no, then that diet is likely to fail, regardless of how effective it might seem in theory. A plan that requires extreme restrictions, eliminates entire food groups, or makes you feel constantly hungry and frustrated will almost always lead to burnout. Eventually, people abandon these unsustainable diets and return to their old habits, which often results in regaining the lost weight, and sometimes even more. This is why the ability to maintain a diet comfortably and happily is far more important than its label or initial speed of results. Consistency beats perfection every time. A diet that allows for flexibility, occasional treats, and variety is much easier to follow than one that is overly rigid. For example, if someone loves fruit, it would be unrealistic for them to follow a strict low-carb diet that severely limits fruit intake for the long term. Similarly, a person who enjoys avocado, nuts, and olive oil might find an extremely low-fat diet too restrictive. Choosing a diet that fits your personal preferences and lifestyle makes it possible to stay on track without feeling like you are constantly battling cravings. When you enjoy the food you eat, weight loss and healthy living become part of your everyday routine rather than a temporary challenge. Another reason why sticking to a diet matters more than its specific type is because all successful weight loss plans share one common principle. They help you maintain a calorie deficit. Whether that deficit comes from eating fewer carbs, fewer fats, or a balanced combination of both does not matter as much as the fact that you are consistently eating fewer calories than you burn. The best diet for you is the one that helps you naturally control calorie intake without making you feel deprived or stressed. If you can do that in a way that feels easy and sustainable, you are far more likely to reach your goals and maintain them over time. It's also important to consider that life is full of events, celebrations, and social situations where food plays a central role. A diet that is too restrictive can make you feel left out during these moments, leading to feelings of frustration or guilt when you eventually indulge. A realistic plan should allow for balance, enjoying occasional treats without sabotaging progress. This flexible approach reduces the chances of binge eating or giving up entirely after a small slip. Building a healthy relationship with food is essential for long-term success, and that means allowing room for moderation instead of chasing perfection. In the end, there is no universal, best diet for everyone because we all have different tastes, cultural backgrounds, and health needs. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's okay. The goal is not to find the perfect diet on paper, but to find the one that feels natural for you, supports your health, and fits into your lifestyle without constant struggle. When a diet becomes something you can live with comfortably rather than something you tolerate temporarily, that is when real and lasting results happen. The best diet is the one that doesn't feel like a diet at all. It feels like your normal way of eating, and that is the true key to maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy life. When it comes to weight loss, the question of low carb versus low fat often seems like a battle of extremes, but the truth is much simpler. Both approaches can work, and both have their benefits. But neither is a magic solution. The most important factor is not whether you cut carbs or fat, but whether you can create a balanced, sustainable lifestyle that you truly enjoy. Quick fixes might bring short-term results, but long-term success comes from habits you can maintain without feeling deprived. Focus on whole, nutrient-rich foods, practice portion control, and choose a way of eating that fits your preferences and daily life. Remember, the best diet is the one that keeps you healthy, energized, and happy in the long run. It's not about following trends. It's about creating a lifestyle you can stick to for life.